Ever since my first big trip abroad, I've been hooked on traveling. When I was 18 years old, I spent a month in England and France. This trip sparked my love for seeing new places and immersing myself in different cultures. A couple of years after my initial trip abroad, I ended up going to New Zealand and Fiji for a month with a couple of my close friends. One of my friends in particular is an experienced traveler who teaches English abroad. This particular trip really solidified my desire to leave the United States and experience the world. On this trip, I had the opportunity to visit a Fijian village and really connect with the local people. We drank kava, which is a local Fijian drink, told stories about our past trips, and even ventured to a local waterfall that was a 2-mile trek through the jungle to reach. What was really unique about this trek to the waterfall was that it was led by one of the older men from the village and his dog. After about 20 minutes of hiking, the path started to disappear. With no pathways, our trek quickly became muddy and filled with various obstacles, such as fallen trees, dense overgrowth, steep hills with no handholds, and a river that did not have a bridge. Me and a couple of friends I made on this trip didn't want to wait for the stragglers and back. Luckily, the man's dog just kept on walking without him. So, we aimlessly followed the dog, hoping that it knew the way to the fall. Surely enough, after about another half hour, we reached a beautiful waterfall in the middle of the secluded jungle. The falls dropped into a small lake where you could take a dip, and if you were even brave enough, climb to the falls. Naturally, my small groups of comrades and I had to climb up and get a picture taken. After hiking back to the village, we were greeted by the children who had just gotten out of class, and freshly cut coconuts from some of the local women in the village. This experience in particular made me realize that a lot of small amenities we find every day in the United States, such as pathways and trail guides, are not something commonly found in small nations. At the same time, if I were a local there, I wouldn't have really known better. This small realization made me aware just how experiencing another culture can alter one's way of thinking. These experiences allowed me to immerse myself in the culture and really appreciate things we take for granted here in the United States. This is something that will always stick with me and has become one of my main motivators to finish my degree and begin the biggest journey of my life. After I graduate, I plan on getting a certification to teach English abroad. Along with my degree and the certification, I'll be able to go almost anywhere in the world to teach English. Teaching English in a foreign country will allow me to directly interact with the people there, more specifically the kids. I'll be able to experience firsthand what it's like to live and work in another country. While traveling is one of my greatest passions, I think everyone should experience and immerse themselves in another country and culture. This experience would allow someone to see the world through someone else's eyes. Lastly, traveling requires thinking differently and abiding by the ways of the country you're in. In this sense, traveling allows people to open their mind to a new experience and ways of thinking, which is something I think that everyone could benefit from.